We are going to do a video this morning about
shipping increases. That's so anticlimactic. Do you ever feel like the cost of shipping is kind of playing whack-a-mole with your profits? Well, yeah, get ready for another round because the USPS, or the United States Postal Service, is once again raising their prices starting July 13th, which as of recording this is what, next week? Oh, and happy 4th of July.
Yep, happy 4th of July.
So in this video, we are going to talk about what is changing, why they're changing so we understand it, because this is not the last one, and what you can do to make sure that your profits aren't cut into so much. We have about 4 different ways we've come up with to help you
prepare for this price changes.
Yep.
For the next how many years?
For the next 6 years. So you're going to want to watch this video and share this video with everybody that ships, whether they're in reselling or not, because everyone will be impacted. Let's start by understanding why the changes are taking place, because that's going to help you to really understand the rest of it, right? Starting next week, July 13th, pretty much all USPS services are going to see a price increase. There are going to be a few that have a price decrease or don't change at all, so you're going to want to stick around to find out what those are, because we've included those as well. Just 7 months ago, in January, we seen another, or would that be 6 months ago? In January of this year, 2025, we've seen another increase. And again, we're going to see another increase. And I'm sure, again, we're going to see another increase. And we're going to keep going with all these increases for the next 6 years. Now, how do we know it's for the next 6 years? That's because according to the USPS website, because I read all of this from them directly.
Yeah, it's a thing called, they're calling it Delivering for America. Mm-hmm. And it's a plan that started in 2021. And it's supposed to end around 2027?
No, 2031.
Oh, 2031.
Yeah.
My bad. We're going to have a lot of increases, so you're going to have to pay attention. From when we started reselling, would have been, what, about a year? Mm-hmm. We've seen increases.
A lot of them.
The whole time. So we had to go and look into other options for shipping and use strategic ways on how to save money, so we are having a higher end for our profit margin.
So this is part of their strategic plan to obtain financial stability. That's why they keep increasing it, and the plan is called Delivering for America.
And you know, our government, just because they say it'll end by 2031, you can pretty much know that they will mismanage the money and that will keep going on.
Do you agree or disagree with any of these changes that are happening, and why? Let us know in the comments down below. So now we're going to go into some of the key changes, and we're going to start with one of the most popular shipping services, and one that we use a lot as well, and that is ground shipping. Why do so many people use ground shipping?
It's usually cheaper.
Yeah.
And your stuff still gets there, and you get a tracking number. In general, we use it to save the most money and get the biggest profit margin.
So on average, you're going to see a 7.1% price range. I can't speak.
You're going to get a 7.1 price range on average across the board. But some of them, you won't see any increase for ground advantage. So that's good news for shippers. Mm-hmm. But you got to watch out, because packages under a pound will see an average increase of 4.5%. And that affects us a lot, because a lot of our packages are smaller and under a pound.
Yeah. So what does that include? If we're kind of giving a good visual for you so you understand. So under a pound packages typically include shirts, so like graphic shirts, hats, shorts, bikinis. What else can it include?
Jewelry, headbands.
So accessories.
Yeah, accessories.
The next major increase we're going to see is items over 20 pounds. And that's going to increase 2.8% across the board. So a lot of shipping will kind of depend on your zones as well. Basically, how a zone works is, I believe wherever you are is zone 1. The further away the item is going from you, the bigger the zone gets. There's 7 total zones?
I believe so.
6 or 7 total zones. So you're going to have to account for that as you sell items. But we're going to talk about all of that a bit later. But if you send anything under 1 pound or anything over 20 pounds regularly, you're going to feel these shifts the most during ground shipping. So just be aware of that.
Priority mail will also, on average, you'll see about a 6.3 raise. Price raise.
Yeah.
You know? You're going to have to let your customer know that the shipping rates go up, you know, because sometimes, you know, they're going to look at your thing and be like, why is the shipping so expensive? Mm-hmm. And if you let them know, you know, oh, this is the cost of shipping, and they can go look it up, they don't give you a hard time, because shipping is a big cost if we have to absorb it.
We want to reduce how much we're cutting into our own profits. So again, as we were talking about zones, especially when you're shipping to zones 4 to 6, so further out from you, you're going to really see that increase. But, plot twist,
dun, dun, dun.
Apparently, if you're shipping about 2 to 3 pound items in a closer zone, so zone 1 to 4, then you're supposed to see a slight decrease. Let us know, and we'll let you know if we actually see that decrease.
And if you send letters, there's going to be an increase again. Yep. 78 cents. That price went up a lot ever since I was growing up. If you have a lot of forever stamps, you better keep those around, because
they're good forever.
Yeah, those prices of stamps went up.
And I'm sure this is not going to be the last increase. By the time we hit 2031,
over
what
$1.
Do you think? Over $1?
Yeah.
You think it's going to hit $2?
I don't think $2, but we will be over $1 on our mail.
I think it's going to be $1.50 per letter mail. That's my prediction, 2031, because that's 6 years from now. And if they're increasing, this is the second time already this year, and we're only halfway through the year. So I don't know. I'm thinking $1.50 to $2 is my prediction. His is $1. We'll see who's right.
I'll take the bet.
Put in the comments whose side are you picking. The other increase is going to be postcard mail. I haven't gotten a postcard in a long time. I don't know if I ever got a postcard in the mail, but if you send postcards, then you're going to see an increase there as well to 62 cents per postcard. And these increases do not include international. So the prices are increasing for international letter and international postcard. We're going to talk about flat rate increases. So that is padded flat rate envelopes, which we use a lot of. That's probably our number one shipping method besides just like ground shipping packages. Now that's going to have an increase of 4%.
Flat rate envelopes, you're going to see an increase of 9%.
Really quick before we move on.
Sorry.
What does this look like dollar-wise? So every dollar, right? So we can kind of give these people a good visual. If they spend $1 now on shipping, and we're just using $1 because it's easy to give you that visual. If there's a 4% increase, what is that? 4 cents?
Yeah. You're going to be $1.04.
For legal flat rates, it's a 9% increase. So for $1, if you're sending an item out, it's going to be $1.09 instead of just $1. And for small flat rate boxes, it's going up 3%. So $1.03.
Medium flat rate boxes, which we use a lot of also, is the highest percentage. That it went up 11%.
Yep.
So that's $1.11.
Can we take a break?
When you send a lot of packages, it adds up really quick.
And just remember, we're giving it based off of $1 to give you just a simple example. So a large flat rate box is going to go up 7%. So if you're thinking $1, that's 7-cent increase.
Yep.
Basically, everything in the flat rate world is increasing, which means that we should see yet again another shipping increase costs for Poshmark.
Yep.
I mean across the board, but I specifically say Poshmark because they use all flat rate and priority boxes and bags. as part of their program. And we just had another increase from them recently because of the postal service increase.
So I can guarantee you they're not going to absorb that cost and pass it along to you.
Which means you're going to want to pay attention to our 4 ways to, strategize and help you out. Now we're going to move on to 4 positive things to remember. Well, that's 8. 2, 4. because okay, there's
you gotta leave that in.
There's some negatives here, but I like to always include a bit of positives in my life, so I'm not just in dread mode the whole time. So I'm gonna pass that on to you. First positive is back to flat rate. Flat rate envelope is holding steady in price. Unfortunately, do we use the flat rate envelope?
Very rarely.
I don't know if we ever used it. I don't know if we've ever used it, but
that might change now, with the price holding steady. So
if you're gonna use the flat rate envelope, give us a thumbs up. The second positive thing to remember is media mail, books, CDs, cassettes. Then that's actually a big win because prices are supposed to be going down on an average of 2%.
If you do that business, that's a huge win for you guys.
Yep.
We don't send out a lot, but we'll take the discount if it does happen.
But if that's your whole business is, books, DVDs, all that kind of stuff, very big positive for you. Very big win.
Yeah, good for you.
Good for you. Okay, number 3, Priority Mail Express. No changes here. So if you use Express, you're in the clear.
Yeah.
But Express is so dang expensive, they better have no changes.
We rarely use Express unless somebody really asks for it. And usually when they ask for it and then you give them the price,
they don't want to use it no more.
They don't want to use it no more. So
yeah.
We're just telling you that's no big thing.
But it's a positive to remember.
For sure.
Is this a trick?
The 4th positive to remember is the Postal Service will apply a price reduction of 12% for postal insurance when mailing an item.
But good luck ever getting a claim from the Postal Service.
I don't know if we've ever gotten.
I don't think we ever got a good a claim from the Postal Service ever.
Every single time, which is not very often, but anytime we've ever tried to file a claim, one time they're like, "Oh, you don't have your receipt? We can't help you." So the next time we had to file a claim, we had our receipt, but then they told us, "Oh, you can't prove what's in the package? Oh, we can't help you." And then next time, so we took pictures and videos, and then they're like, "Oh, but you didn't buy it, like." You don't have a receipt for how much it costs when you bought it.
Yeah, brand new. You need to save it gets very extensive and ridiculous. So if you can avoid getting their insurance, I would.
Because
but it's just never worked out for us.
Every time it was a different reason why we couldn't file a claim for the insurance.
And don't let us deter you because we haven't had a lot of issues where we're like having packages missing. The USPS does a excellent service for us.
Yeah.
But if you do have a claim, good luck.
Good luck.
Okay.
Because even when you call their customer service number, it just puts you in a never-ending circle of robot voice, Quick run. It's very annoying.
Save you the headache, you know?
Although we love our local post office, we've had a
sure.
lot of issues in general with the insurance.
Yeah.
And if you had never had a problem with the insurance or the insurance has worked for you when you filed a claim,
let us know.
Subscribe to our channel. That will show us. Prove us wrong.
These price changes are part of an ongoing adjustment. So, you have to just roll with it because what are you going to do? We're going to give you 4 tips on what to do.
Yeah, and you're going to have to make sure that you stay on top of them. So the first strategy or tip is probably the most obvious, which is to go in and review and adjust your pricing strategy. So what this means, and this is going to be your first line of defense, you're going to have to go through your top selling items, your most common sales, and your most common shipping weight. So for example, if you sell a lot of hats, right? Hats don't tend to go above 8 ounces. Yeah. And because it's below a pound. And I'm guessing you send Ground Advantage because that would be the cheapest way right now.
Because you got to send a hat in a box too, because you don't want it to get all smashed.
We never send a hat in a package,
a bag, or nothing like that.
But if you want to learn more about shipping, let us know. We can do a whole video on shipping. Even in a box, it's typically, I don't think we've ever gone over 8 ounces for a hat, because you're going to see an increase of 4.5% on average for items below a pound. You're going to want to take that number that you typically pay for shipping, like what's your average right now you typically pay for an 8 ounce package, and you're going to want to times that by 4.5%. Do the math. What would we pay? Maybe about $5 we pay for shipping an 8 ounce. It's about $5 or right below, and that's not even including the box. So we'll just say $5 because I'm all about round numbers right now. So we'll just say $5 times 4.5%, and that's going to be a 23-cent increase. So round up. You're going to pay, it's actually 5.225, but we're going to round it up. You're going to pay $5.23 on average per package. So you're going to want to increase what you're charging for shipping accordingly, or you're going to want to take on that cost.
Or you can put that cost on the price, and you can put that cost into your item if you want to keep your shipping the same. The only other options you have other than absorbing the cost yourself. If you explain to your customer or your clientele that the price change, they usually understand, because it's not our fault that the post office is raising.
Beyond your control,
way beyond our control.
So you're basically doing a financial health shipping checkup for your business.
For sure.
You're gonna want to implement tip number 2, which is kind of perfecting your packaging, making sure you're using the right service for media mail, for example. So every ounce counts. So make sure you invest in maybe lighter packaging, or that you are being the most efficient with your shipping. I'm not saying don't add extra protection because you want that, but just make sure that extra ounce or ounces that you're adding in there is necessary rather than just taking up room. And I would say that starts especially with the right box or package size. So if you have something this small in a box that is twice the size, you're going to have a lot of shaking room. And then to avoid that shaking room, you're going to have to buy
a lot of packaging.
That much packaging. Instead, you could buy something that's maybe closer in size, still have sufficient packaging around the item, so you're paying less per box and you're paying less in packaging material, but you're still getting that item there safely. Yeah. And then the second step is to make sure you're using the right shipping service, such as media mail, specifically media mail we're going to be talking about. So if you send books, printed music, recorded media, so that's DVDs, CDs, cassettes, I don't know, whatever you're sending, floppy disks, you can use media mail. There are some strict guidelines around media mail, but since there's a 2% decrease, if you can use it, if you fall within that metric, you're going to want to make sure that you're taking advantage of that to see some price lowering. Yeah,
make sure you check the list of the media mail and just what guidelines they have. But if you can use it, we highly recommend it.
Third tip is to unlock discounts with shipping services. No matter what service you use, whether it's a shipping service or a retail rate, you're going to see an increase across the board. But typically with shipping services like Pirate Ship or ShipStation, they contract with USPS, UPS, FedEx to get a bulk price. That's basically what they're doing. They're contracting because they're saying, well, we have, 10 million items on average a year that get shipped through our service. What kind of discount, bulk price discount, can we get at 10 million items shipped, right? And these shipping, UPS, USPS, FedEx, they're going to be like, okay, well, that's a lot, so we're going to give you that bulk wholesale price. It's kind of like the Costco or Sam's Club of the shipping world is using a shipping software.
We use it,
yes. And in the beginning, we weren't, and we were paying retail prices, and one of the biggest helps on our shipping costs, on our profits, was by implementing a shipping service. Yeah. So I would definitely sign up for one. We have not yet tried to sign up for all of them and do a price compare, which is probably another smart tip. Like, it's another smart thing to do, because I'm guessing depending on the number of clients that each of these services have, they are negotiating different deals.
Yeah.
And they got different discount levels. That would make sense to me.
We use pirate ship, and it's been working for us. Not only you save money, it's very good to be competitive on shipping costs, where you can offer your customer a lower shipping cost, or you can keep the shipping costs the same.
It'll help pay for materials like boxes, packing supplies,
gas.
Yeah, to even go to the post office.
There's a lot of costs if you're a new seller or that you don't even think about, but it adds up quick.
It does add up very quickly. We used to get a lot of messages saying that your shipping's too high, but we would use the integrated shipping service. So it was just eBay, for example. And yes, we have 2 scales, and we weigh our items, we measure our items, and we put all that information in. But typically, we would still get complaints from people. Why is your shipping so high? And we'd have to tell them all the time, well, it's a calculated shipping through eBay. You would think eBay would get the best sort of commercial rates for their shipping, but no. We haven't found that. And from all the complaints we've gotten in the past, buyers haven't seen that on their side as well. That's why we started looking into, well, what other shipping services can we use? And that's how we came across Pirate Ship. We haven't done any price comparing beyond that because we did save with Pirate Ship, which once we saved a lot. And then we went in and manually
saved our customers money too.
That cost as well. Yeah. So now we have a flat rate for shipping. If you look on our eBay, it is still based on weight, but it's a flat rate instead of eBay's
fluctuated rate and
calculated.
Yeah. And you can see in their price range that they give you will always beat
their price.
Yeah. So that's also a good thing for your company or your business to do better,
Yeah.
Because some people don't know about it, but look into it and it's more than worth it.
It is.
Because you'll save yourself money and your customer money. And that's a win-win.
So, for example, 8-ounce items. And I'm just saying that because we sell a lot of them.
A lot.
eBay will say, we'll put in all the information in their shipping thing because you have to, shipping preferences. And it'll say, well, this item will cost the person $6 to $6.55 at current rates. Our shipping service that we use, we're able to just charge $5.50 across the board. So that's below eBay's estimated cost and what they would be charging from anywhere from 50 cents up to $1 less. You're incurring a savings, but you're also able to pass that on, and we've gotten more sales from better shipping costs.
And for sure, and with the Pirate Ship, you're not just stuck using USPS. You can go to UPS, FedEx. It gives you all the options. So you can give your customer the different options. Because we had times where people want a better shipping, So they're willing to pay a different price, a different cost, So you want to be able to just... It's good to be able to navigate around all the costs right there and see, okay, this is how I'm going to get the customer the best deal. It's not going to be through USPS. It's going to be through FedEx. It's going to be through this, so you can really, it helps you really nip a lot of the troubleshooting in the butt by just finding you those best costs. Yep. But we're recommending you also go out and find the best costs for a shipping service. Because we just went with Pirate Ship. It worked for us. We have no complaints with them. Let us know what's the best shipping service that you guys use. Is there a better one? Is it cheaper?
So now we're going to talk about the last strategy, the fourth one. And that is strategic diversification, which Matt already touched on, is, price comparing basically, and smart bundling.
Yeah.
So he already touched on the diversification part. So we're not going to really get back into that because he did a great job at that already. We're going to touch more on the bundling.
To save you money.
Encourage buyers to buy multiple items, especially if you use ground shipping. because ground shipping is based on weight. Now, if they can buy a few items that are 8 ounces, you add that up, you're already at a pound. And if you go above a pound, you're not supposed to see any changes, right? What they might be spending in an extra shirt or hat or whatever it is might still make up for what they could have been spending in that increased shipping rate.
Costs.
Yeah. So instead, they're buying another item instead of paying for shipping. I don't know about you guys, but I rather have, whenever there's a place that says, oh, if you buy X amount of items, you get free shipping or reduced shipping,
I'll take it.
I take that deal because I'm thinking in my head, I'd rather have this brand new eyeglass case
and pay $16 in shipping.
Yeah, because at least I'm getting something that I'll, use or that I like rather than just paying for the cost of shipping. So I will definitely encourage your buyers to bundle items. That way they can get a better price in the shipping realm, especially when it comes to ground.
And we usually give them better prices when they bundle in general.
Yeah, we usually give them discounts. Yeah.
It's a good in all sides.
Around. Yeah,
it's a win-win.
Especially, even if you ship on Poshmark. Now, I'm sure Poshmark is going to have another shipping increase because why wouldn't they, right? Encourage people to bundle. If they're going to be paying, what is it, $8.27, I believe, for shipping on Poshmark from 5 pounds and under. If they're going to be paying $8.27, which let's just say they go up to $9. If someone is going to be paying $9 and they're just going to get this one thing, why not encourage them and be like, you can still pay that $9 up to 5 pounds of stuff and you can get more. So if there's something more that you see that you like in the store, you should highly consider getting it now.
Thanks, old Willie. You're a genius.
Right? If you get 2 items, instead of $9 in shipping, they're paying $4.50 for each item. And then if they get more items on top of that, the shipping is technically reduced per an item. So they're still paying $9, but per an item, they're paying less shipping.
Yeah. Rather than paying like $18 for 2 separate items, you're just 2 items, $9. Because when we do any of our thrifting or anything, take everything that we bought and we divide it up and then we get our cost per item, regardless if it's expensive to cheap.
And that's kind of what you're passing on to the consumer, is that sort of bulk savings.
So there you have it. The July 2025 USPS rate changes decoded, and 4 powerful ways to keep your reselling business profitable.
So let us know what was your favorite part of the video and follow us, subscribe to our channel if you like this type of learning content. I think that's it. Thank you for spending time with us.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Bye.
I hope you learned something.
Bye-bye.